Got very good arms.
He didn't fall? Inconceivable.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and today I'm going to talk about some of the upcoming indie comics that we can be looking forward to in February 2021. Earlier in the week, or maybe it was last week, I did my solicitation video talking about DC Comics. On Sunday, I'm going to do a solicitation video talking about all the stuff at Marvel. I figured I should probably take a gander over at all the independent comics, which I've personally been enjoying more than the big two as of late anyway. See if there's anything that catches my eye that I wanted to let the viewers know about. Maybe some of those diamonds in the rough, those hidden gems that you've been waiting to discover. Maybe a sequel to a comic book you didn't even know was coming out. So I went through, I scoured all of them. I went through IDW, Image, Boom, I hit Ahoy, Titan, Storm King. I hit the whole gamut, all the publishers that I knew of. And I have 5 comic books I'm talking about today. We got 2 from Image, 1 from Titan Comics, 1 from IDW, and 1 from somebody else. Who is it? Oh, Dark Horse. So there you go. The 3 big ones are Blade Runner, which is a prequel to Blade Runner 2019, which is a comic I've very much endorsed here on the channel. Loved it. So this is going to be a prequel to that. These are also set in the Blade Runner film universe, the only comic books to ever do that. We've also got a Transformers Beast Wars comic coming out that's going to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the animated show that essentially saved the Transformers franchise back in the day. And then there's also Radiant Black from Kyle Higgins, one of my favorite creators. That's going to be an IDW series. There's also a series from Matt Kent and Mirko Andolfo as well that we're going to talk about. So before I get into all the details, I do want to say, if you're enjoying the channel but you haven't subscribed, subscribe to Thinking Critical YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Give me a thumbs down if you don't. Either way, I want to hear your feedback. What independent comic books are you looking forward to in February? And if I didn't mention one that you think is going to be great, make sure and put that in the comment section. Let's get a whole discussion going about all the hidden gems, the diamonds in the rough that we should all be looking out for, because the independent comics are destroying the big two right now. We need to get the word out with all the good stuff that's going to be out there. And I'm very excited to talk about this. First up is the sequel, prequel to the Blade Runner 2019 series. This is going to be written by, the first issue is solicited to be written by Kate Perkins, Mello Brown, and Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson, I believe, was one of the scripters for the movie Blade Runner 2049, and I believe his involvement as the co-writer of Blade Runner 2019 is one of the reasons it's been so good. Now, as far as I can understand, he is going to co-write the first issue of Blade Runner Origins with Kate Perkins and Mello Brown. And then Mike Johnson won't be associated with it anymore. So I am a little nervous or apprehensive about this creative team. The other artist is not on. The original artist from 2019 is on here as well. I'll talk about that here in a few seconds. But I really did enjoy Blade Runner 2019. I like Blade Runner the movie. I like Blade Runner 2049. 2049, although I do think there were some issues with it. Probably a little bit long. Just my opinion. But here's what the solicitation reads. Enter the world of Blade Runner 2009 and discover the untold origins of the Blade Runners. A Tyrell Corporation scientist is dead, the victim of an apparent suicide, but when LAPD detective Cal is called in to investigate, he uncovers secret documents revealing a new kind of replicant and a conspiracy that could change the world. Certainly exciting enough. You don't get a whole lot of details in there. I imagine this character right here is Cal himself. And this is likely the bad person, or maybe they're working together. Not really sure. Now, if you're wondering, well, why didn't they just get the creative team from Blade Runner 2019 to do Blade Runner Origins? Because we're going to have 2 Blade Runner series, I believe, next month in December. Blade Runner 2029 is debuting, and it has the same creative team of Blade Runner 2029. Mike Johnson, Michael Green, and Andres Ginaldo. So that's why they weren't available. There's going to be 2 ongoing. Well, they're probably not ongoing. These are likely miniseries. The Blade Runner 2019 was a 12-parter. But we will have 2 Blade Runner series from Titan Comics. And I think that's great. I really did enjoy the first one. Hopefully, Blade Runner Origins can live up to the to the benchmark that the Blade Runner 2019 series created with the original creative team. I have no doubts that Blade Runner 2029 will do that, but we shall see with Blade Runner Origins. But I'm definitely in because I enjoyed that first Titan Comics series so much. The next series we're going to talk about is Transformers Beast Wars from IDW Comics. This is going to be written by Erik Burnham and Josh Burcham, or illustrated by Josh Burcham. And this is a solicitation celebrating 25 years of Beast Wars. In the future, the planet Cybertron belongs to the scientific-minded Maximals and the action-oriented Predacons. When a crew of Predacons led by the successor to the Megatron name steal a golden disc in a ship capable of traveling through time, it's up to Optimus Primal and his Maximal crew, Rattrap, Rhinox, Cheetor, and new character Nyx to catch them. A brand new Beast era begins in an oversized first issue, which will run you $6. It sounds like fun if you're a big fan of Beast Wars, and I believe there is a generation of comic readers whose Transformers are Beast Wars. It essentially was the brand there for quite a while. Kind of saved the franchise. The original Transformers idea kind of got watered down. Nobody was really watching it. And Beast Wars was Transformers for quite a while until the movies launched. And then, we're back to the original. So I'll definitely be checking this one out just because I'm curious. I'm not curious about the new character Nyx. If the character's fine, whatever. I'm an Optimus Primal kind of guy. So it should be fun. I think this will be pretty good. Erik Burnham is a pretty decent writer. For the most part, I think IDW's Transformers have missed the mark for the last several years. Far too adult-oriented entertainment for Transformers. It should be all-inclusive. In my opinion, we'll see if Transformers Beast Wars meets that mark, because I would love to share this with my 5-year-old, because he is an absolute Transformers mark. Those are his favorite heroes in anything, and his favorite toys. And unfortunately, I can't read any of the comics with him. Hopefully, I can read this one. So definitely be checking this one out. Now, getting into some of the lower visibility stuff that I think will probably be even better than those two. Although we'll see on Blade Runner Origins. But Fear Case is written by one of my favorite creators. Matt Kent's going to be illustrated by Tyler Jenkins. And Dark Horse describes this. This is a 4-issue series as True Detective meets the Ring, with the name referring to an actual box that has repeatedly appeared at scenes of tragedy, and which has to be passed on within 3 days of someone taking possession of it, or a disaster will strike. As 2 Secret Service agents try to track down the box, they have to contend with a cult dedicated to the box's existence. What's in the box? What's in the box? And this is what Matt Kent had to say. I've never written a story in the horror genre before. Real life is already so full of it. This is the most grounded thing I've ever written. And as a result, it's definitely the most horrific. I apologize in advance. I am an enormous Matt Kent fan. In fact, he has written my personal favorite comic book story of all time. It's called Ride. It also matches up with the Valiant Comics 4001 AD event. It's kind of one big story. I love that one, but his work on mind management is kind of legendary as far as indie comics go. He also had a great run on Ninja K with Valiant Comics. He's got his Ether series. If you like fantasy comics, that's great. Right now we've got Bang, which is kind of like an action-adventure series. It's kind of playing homage like 007 and Die Hard and stuff like that I think is really high quality. It's one of the better comics out available right now. So he's done a lot of things, a lot of fantasy work, a lot of science fiction, a little bit of action, adventure type stuff. So I'm definitely interested in this to say what his first dipping his toe into horror is going to be like. And I think Fear Case is going to be great. Sounds like a really cool premise, if I'm being completely honest. And I think Dark Horse is one of those Dark Horse comic publishers. They're so good. The quality is always there. You can always kind of depend on them. Unfortunately, they did lose the Alien and Predator licenses recently. So I do think we'll get some new, more original IP stuff, and hopefully more Matt Kent. He has been with Dark Horse for a very long time. They collaborate a lot. And I have no doubts that Fear Case will be well worth your money, along with Tyler Jenkins' art. Sounds like his wife, Hillary Jenkins, is also going to be working with him. And yeah, that's about what I got to say about this one. This one's probably the one I'm most excited about. Matt Kent's he's awesome. Robert Venditti is my favorite writer. Matt Kent's, he's in my top 5. He's almost everything he does is great. Oh, and if you haven't read his Black Badge series, that was cool. It was like about like a bunch of Boy Scouts, like elite Boy Scouts. It was actually pretty cool. The next two series are going to be from Image. The first one is from Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa. It's called Radiant Black. And this is what the solicitation says. For fans of Invincible and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comes a brand new ongoing series from acclaimed writer Kyle Higgins and artist Marcelo Costa that reinvents superheroes for a new generation. Nathan Burnett has just turned 30 and things aren't great. He's working and failing at 2 jobs. His credit card debt is piling up, and his only move is moving back home with his parents. Sucks to be Nathan Burnett. But when Nathan discovers and unlocks the ethereal cosmic radiant, he's given the power to radically change his fortunes. There's just one problem. The powers don't belong to him, and the cosmic beings who created them want them back by any means necessary. Definitely, it's got a Power Rangers like Tron, maybe I don't know, Iron Man. It looks like it's some type of suit, like a power suit. Looks pretty cool. I think we haven't seen any of the interior art, but just looking at the covers and what it's trying to portray, I think it's going to be good. And they got a lot of good artists on the variants. I believe this one over here is David Finch, is the one on the right. I like Kyle Higgins a lot. What he's doing with, I think it's Rise of Ultraman, I think is really good right now. Had a really underrated run on Nightwing. It was interrupted far too often. Let's see. He's done some other things, but I am a big Kyle Higgins fan. Normally, anything he writes, I'll go check out the first issue. But he's not like one of my favorite writers. He doesn't work for everything. But I do think this looks pretty cool, and I think he's probably going to bring the heat on Radiant Black. Looks like a cool series. If you like Invincible, you like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, maybe you like power suits, this might be the comic series for you. I'll definitely be checking it out in February 2021. Now, the last comic book I'm going to talk about is called Deepion. This is written by Mirka Andolfo. She's a wonderful artist, but she's also a very talented writer. She will not be illustrating this, but she will be co-writing it with David Goy, and the artist is going to be Andrea Broccardo. And this is the solicitation. In an underpopulated future Earth, devastated by the dire consequences of the Millennium Bug, the survival of mankind, and maybe of the planet itself, is handled by a small number of people, talented scientists who, despite the adverse situation and the stupid feuds that continue to divide the smaller number of people still alive, try to understand and study what is hidden in the depths of the abyss, something mysterious and dangerous, what could eventually cause an even worse and more destructive catastrophe. The 100 meets low with a hint of Death Stranding in this brand new sci-fi thriller series. Now, obviously, I think it would look better if it was illustrated by Mirka Andolfo, but the art looks perfectly fine. I just read, Sea of Sorrows, which obviously is in the future. That's actually like more of a period piece. And I did enjoy that kind of that weird claustrophobic atmosphere that you get when you're underwater. Obviously, the cover insinuates that there will be some type of enormous octopus maybe going after one of these underwater divers. It looks like in the glass of the helmet, they appear to be looking at some type of being or maybe a dead person in the ocean. And I don't know, is this lady got Skittles on her? Are those Lucky Charms? That looks like a 4-leaf clover. I'm not sure. She seems to be infected with something. I think she got Skittles. She seems to have them here as well. So I imagine that's going to play a big part in the story. I don't know. I think the cover looked cool. Mirka Andolfo's a pretty good writer. I think it ought to be pretty good. So I'm definitely going to check it out. This is a flyer. I take a flyer on some of these comics, as long as if they have a cool cover or they have kind of a cool concept, or maybe even a writer working on something I haven't seen them do before. I'll normally kind of give it a shot for 2 or 3 issues, see if I like it. And definitely going to give this one a shout out, or give it a look up, read it, and see how it goes. So those are the 5 comics I found that are independent comics for February 2021 in the solicitations. I went into Previews World. Like I said, I looked at all of them, and I think those all have potential. Blade Runner Origins, obviously a prequel to Blade Runner 2019. which I personally love. I'm more excited for Blade Runner 2029 because it has the original creative team, but we'll see how Blade Runner Origins goes. Transformers Beast Wars, probably give that a look. Hopefully it's kids inclusive. I can read it with my son, but I think fans of the Beast Wars cartoons might enjoy this one a lot. I am most excited for Fear Case by Matt Kidd, one of my favorite writers. His first endeavor into the horror genre. I think that'll be pretty cool. Radiant Black, Kyle Higgins, Marcelo Costa on art. Invincible Beats Power Rangers. Looks like you got some type of power suit in there. Ought to be pretty fun. And then finally we had Deepion by Mirka Andolfo. David Goy on like an underwater adventure. Looks to have like an enormous octopus. Can you go wrong with that? Enormous octopus. Should be fun. Like I said, what are the independent comics you're looking for? I want a conversation in the comments. Let's talk about all the hidden gems, those diamonds in the rough that we're not expecting, that we need to be looking out for, because the big two just ain't cutting it right now. And indie comics are kind of where it's at. I'm sure everyone else has noticed because it's plain to see to me.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.